to take this opportunity to take you through a career guidance and subject selection session. So I will be taking through how you select your subject, some very key important aspects when selecting the subjects. Very important for you to plan your career at this time. Have a career goal. You should have a goal. So this goal is the one which is going to motivate you. It is going to give you an encouragement of how you will be working all through your course, the remaining years you have in high school. So this should help you to set the goal. That is the career plan. It should keep you motivated and it should be aligned with the efforts you have. The efforts you will be putting in class, they should be aligned with your goals and they should encourage you, as I have said. So goal setting is just a process which allows you to articulate your objectives. You have to articulate your objectives and sustain motivation, facilitating a focused approach to your aspirations. So, the academic alignment selecting of subject is resonate with your career ambitions and paves a more straightforward path towards achieving your goal. So it paves a straightforward path to achieving your goal. That's why it is very important for you to plan your career path. So by dedicating your time to career planning, you are just establishing a comprehensive roadmap for both academic and also your professional development. Remember, you are in control of your career journey. So your objectives, that is your life objectives. So let us look at the KCSE subject grouping. So we have group 1, which is compulsory subjects, and these subjects are aligned with the KCSE, that is the KCSE, the Kenya National Examination Council. And already it has played its role. In its structure, it has looked at some subjects which are compulsory, which are mandatory. They are very important in all the fields. So these compulsory subjects are very important in all the fields. So they are already placed by the Kenya National Examination Council. So the compulsory subject, as you all know, they include the English, the Swahili, mathematics. And these, they provide fundamentals of communication and analytic skills. That's why they are compulsory. Then group 2, that is science subjects, we have biology, physics, and chemistry. All of you know that. This is the science group. And in this science group, you have to choose a minimum of 2. You can have all the subjects, all the 3 sciences, but if you don't want to do the 3 sciences, then you choose 2 of them. So you can decide to choose physics and chemistry, biology and physics, or biology and chemistry, provided that you have 2. So in other school setting, they make one science compulsory, like chemistry, and then you choose among between the 2 other sciences. And this science course, they will make you to have a career path of pursuing medical, engineering, and technology. That is the science group. Then we have the group 3, that is humanities, and this is history, geography, and the religious education. Also, you have to select, and your selection here will depend on what you have selected in group 2. If you have selected 3 sciences, then it means in humanity group, you are going to select only one for you to have another subject for the group 4. But if you have 2 on science, then it means you can also select 2 here. You can have 2 subjects or even 1, depending on the number of subjects you want to choose, because you can choose up to 8 subjects or even 9, but a minimum of 7 depending on your ability. So this group here is making you to have a deep understanding of the society. And also we have beneficial career path, like the career path in law, we have the career path in education, and we have many of them under that. We cannot mention them. We cannot mention all of them. So we have also the other group, that is technical group, that is the group 4. And it has subjects like the computer studies, the home science. Here we have agriculture, we have business, and all that. So also you have to select. And this group here is giving you fundamental skills which are practical and which are suited for in vocational careers. So the selection of an appropriate subject combination really influences your future in academic. They influence your future in academic and also your professional opportunities. So how your subject affect your career choice. So how does your subject affect your career choice? You have to plan what you want to be. So the career choice is very important because this is what you want to be in life. So we have the sciences, for example, as I have already told you, the science subjects. These science subjects are fundamental in the fields of medicine, engineering, and others. And they equip you with the essential knowledge. They are making the foundation for your career. So those are the science subjects. So it means if you want to dive in these careers, then you must take your sciences seriously. You must choose wisely. Because if you want, for example, you want to be a doctor and then you don't choose biology, then it means you have already closed your career path there. You will not be able to pursue the path in medicine. If you want to pursue engineering, for example, and your physics is not there, it means you have already closed that path. So we have the humanities, and here we have said the humanities promote critical thinking and effective communication, both of which are crucial for careers in law, education, and social sciences. So you want to be a lawyer, an advocate, and all that. Which career, which subjects are you going to put emphasis on? So these are the humanities. They are the humanities. You should choose. And as we have said, you must have them in your KCSE certificate. Then we have the vocational. If you want to go and have practical skills, the hands-on professions, you have to possess, or you must make sure that you put more emphasis on these subjects. So these subjects generally, the subjects you are going to select, they are going to influence, they are going to affect much on your career. That's why I'm taking this opportunity to take you through all these things, because this path, the path you're going to choose, the path you're going to choose is going to affect what you want to be in life. Tips for making an informed decision. If you want to make an informed decision, what are the things to consider? What are the things to consider to make informed decision? To make a good decision, what are these things that you should consider? So, the first thing is knowing your strength. Know your strength. What do I mean when I say know your strength? When I say, for example, I want to be a doctor, that is, biology is very essential. But ever since primary, the highest marks I can score in that science is 20. When I was having A, B, C, and D. And I want to be a doctor, what am I going to do? It means that I'm not strong in that field. So, considering your strength is very important. You may want to be an engineer, and mathematics and physics, you are not there. You always struggle to get concepts in sciences, and you are not able to do that. So that is one thing that you should consider, your strength. What are you able to do better? That is what you should consider first. Then your interest. What is your interest? Maybe your parent, your mother or your father, your brothers, they want you to be an engineer. But you want to be a journalist. Your interest is being a journalist. Or your interest is being a doctor. You don't want to be an engineer. So what will happen? If you follow what your parent is telling you, at the end, you will end up in that career. Then you are not interested in it. You don't have that career in your heart. Maybe you have gone to hospital sometimes. When you go to hospital, you'll find that a doctor is there, but then he or she is telling you that I'm not on duty. So when he tells you that he's not on duty, he's there. Why is he there? He's there to help you. But he's saying that I'm not on duty. Oh, can you wait? I'm busy. Maybe he did that out of other influences, but he's not interested. Maybe he or she is interested much in business. That's why he's there, but he cannot deliver to the fully requirements of that career he selected. So it is very important also to consider your strength and the interest. You should also seek advice from teachers and the career counselors, as we do here. You should also be advised. Maybe you want to be, let's say, let me give a doctor. But then you need to be advised. What are the advice? So you need to be advised on what to do, because you may have an interest, but then your interest is not relevant to the demand of the world. So you have to take advice seriously. You also need to do some research If you want to be a doctor, do some research. What are the requirements of you being a doctor? What subject do I need to pass in order for me to succeed in my career selected path? So you should also choose a balanced combination. Your combination should be balanced. So what does it mean by the balanced combination? Consider workload and how they are complementary to one another. Let me, for example, you want to have geography. But when we look at the careers related to geography, for example, they go hand in hand with physics. That is the survey part and all that. So if we need physics and geography in order for you to have that career, and then you have physics, then the geography is not there. Or you have geography, then the physics is not there. It means that your combination is not balanced. You will be given the minimum requirement for you to pursue that career. For example, it is you are told you need to have geography and physics, and then you have geography only or you have physics only. It means that you cannot do that. So you should choose a balanced one. For example, we want to do medical engineering. Medical engineering, we have the biology and the physics and the chemistry. So medical, that is the biology, and the engineering part is for the physics. But you have those. If you leave one, it means that what you want to pursue in life then is not balanced with the subject combination. So you have to set a goal to yourself and also your career successes. It is very important. The career examples, let us just go through them very quickly. Let us explore some of those paths and the subject aligned to them. So we have the medicine. So with the medicine, we need the combinations like biology, chemistry, mathematics. These are very important in laying a foundation, a very solid foundation for you to pursue the medical pathway. Then we have engineering. Engineering, those who are interested in engineering, physics, mathematics, and chemistry are very important. Very important. That is for engineering. This subject offer a strong base of problem solving and innovation. A strong base of problem solving and innovation. So that is the engineering. For example, we want to dive in a law career pathway. Your interest is law. Which subject are important then? We have the English, the history, CRE and IRE. They are very essential. And why? These subjects foster critical thinking and analytic skills, and more so communication for the English. Communication is very important. You need to communicate very fluently. Then we have career pathway like the ICT. Career pathway like the ICT. We need mathematics, physics, and computer studies. Very important. And these subjects, they prepare you to have a rapid involvement in the technology landscape. Mathematics, physics, and computer studies. That is, they are going to lay a good foundation for you to pursue ICT related career path after Form 4. Lastly, we have the agriculture related course. I'm not going to explore all of them, but I'm just have some examples. So the agriculture related, that is the agriculture is close to biology because you will be dealing with plants and animals, and already have talked about balancing. So these subjects like the biology, agriculture, and geography, they gives an insight. They give you an insight of the natural processes and sustainable practices. So if you want to dive in any career path, as I have said, you need to choose your subject wisely, depending on what you want to do. Now, remember that these goals or these examples I have given here, they are just some few examples. And the goal is to align your interest with the subject that you are, or with the subject that is going to fit to your career path. So I have just given some examples, and it is important for you that to select subject wisely which fit in your career, what you want to be. So the subject selection is very important, as we have said. For we have looked at the subject selection. Now let's say you have your subject. You have decided that you want to be a doctor. You want to pursue a medical field after Form 4. You have your mathematics, you have your English, you have your Swahili, you have your biology, you have your chemistry, then you have added, let's say, history, you have also added, let's say, another subject like agriculture. So you have all of them there. Then what next? Because the career path that does not end there at just selecting your subject. Or does it end at selecting your subject? No. You have to work on your goal. How do you work on your goal? Have study tips. Know how to work on your career path, because the career path or fulfilling your life goal is not just selecting the subject and you be seated there. It entitles on in working towards achieving your goal. And success is not just something which comes from nowhere. You have to gain your success. You have to build your success. Now, what are the tips that will guide you? When you follow them, they are going to guide you on succeeding. To set a clear academic goal. Set a clear academic goal. So, what is the importance of you setting a clear academic goal? What is very important? What is the importance of that? Somebody without a goal is just someone who is just walking. Any place is his or her destination because you don't have a goal. You just go, you find people are seated somewhere, you also sit because you don't have any goal. You don't have clear objective. So defining your goal is very crucial. And the goal is both long-term and short-term. What is your long-term goal? Maybe you want to be a doctor. That one is a long-term. But then, what are the short-term goals? You have to make sure that your or the subject you have selected, which are aligned to that career, you understand them. So, you'll just say that, for example, now when I'm through with my Form 2, I want to have revised my Form 1 work biology, my Form 2 work biology. That is a goal which is short term. You want to achieve that in a short period. But all those short term goals, they are aligned to your long term goal, that is being a doctor or being an engineer or being whom you want to be. So these goals are the ones which are going to motivate you. They are going to keep you focused. So secondly, you should focus on improvement on each subject you have selected. If you are getting 20 right now out of 100 in, let's say, geography or history or any subject that you have selected, you must focus in having an improvement, even if your improvement is very small, but it should be there. You should say that now in the next exam, I don't want to get 20, I want to get 25. That is the improvement we are talking about. Even if the improvement is small, it should be there, a realistic study timetable. Most of you are working blindly without a timetable. And if you don't have a timetable, then it means you are just there doing anything you feel like doing it at that time. You don't have a plan. Set a realistic timetable. A timetable which will have all the subject balanced. If I may ask, do you have your timetables? For sure, most of you don't have the timetables. And if you have them, you don't follow them. Then there is no meaning of you having the timetables if you don't follow them. Make sure you follow your timetable. Your timetable should also cover your strength and your weaknesses. The subject that need a lot of attention, you can place them during the morning hours because your mind is still fresh and they need a lot of concentration. That is when you will understand them better. And during the evening hours, you are tired because you have worked all day. Then it means you need the subjects which they are easy to understand. They require low attention. That is how you should set your timetable. Also, you can set your timetable in a way that it is the 50/10 rule. That is, you study 50 minutes, then you have a break. You cannot just study from 7 p.m., for example, to 8 p.m. and change directly from biology, change to history directly. You must have a break in between. So you can decide to study for 50 minutes, then have a 10 minutes break, or 45 minutes and have a break. What will you be doing in this break? Making noise in class? No. You may use this break to reflect on what you have learned. Assess yourself. Don't wait for a teacher to ask you questions. Ask yourself some questions concerning what you have done. Are you able to remember? You will find that you have just read right now, but you are not able to remember everything. So already you are evaluating yourself and know where you have understood and which part do you need to revisit. That is, even if you're going to change to another subject, but next time you are coming back to that subject, you will understand that there is this concept I learned which I did not get it clearly. Focus on understanding, not just memorizing. Most of the time you memorize. So when you memorize and a disruption comes, you forget everything. You start scratching your head because you have just memorized, and at the door when you are going to the exam, somebody asked you a different question. you forget everything. Can you understand? Make sure you understand. Learn the logic behind a particular process or a formula. It is going to help you have a broad understanding of the topic or the concept. So have some visualize the concept in a way that you grasp every underlying principle and connection between the topics. As you read, can you build connections which are going to help you understand very clearly? Take time to learn the logic behind every process. Why does it happen like this? How? Ask yourself such questions. Why and how does it happen? Then keep on applying this knowledge in different contexts. If you have learned a concept, can you apply the concept in a question? Let's say a KCSE question. Can you answer those questions? And when the question is twisted, let's say on real life examples, can you solve that problem? So don't just memorize. Understand the concept. Remember, when you learn, it's just building a strong foundation. It is not memorizing, it is building a strong foundation and build the concepts over and over in a long time. Use past KCSE questions. Practice regularly. Understand the pattern for the KCSE questions. Understand that pattern and use that pattern to revise, to familiarize yourself with the way the pattern is and the way the marking schemes are. How those questions are marked. It is very important. So use the KCSE format and they will make you to become more comfortable. Even as you approach to your exam period, you will be more comfortable because you have been using the KCSE format to revise all through. So this will make a very big difference on your exam day. Secondly, I have said familiarize yourself with the pattern. Some other topics are very wide. You cannot expect to have every concept being tested. So there is a particular pattern. You'll understand that the examiners ask this question, next they ask another question on another concept in the same topic. So familiarize yourself with that pattern, making sure that each and every time you remind yourself on those concepts. Also understand how those questions are marked. Understand how are they marked. What are the key concepts which are required by the examiners? Don't just read like that. Know that in this question, these are the key points which they need to appear. For example, it is a law, a physics law. We have some key things which they must appear in order for you to earn a mark. Know how the marking scheme is. And how are you going to know about how the marking scheme is? Because you are familiarizing yourself with the KCSE questions. Join or form study groups. Join or form study groups. Have groups. And in your group, you should clarify a concept which is difficult and then work through it in your group. Maybe when you are alone, you have read that concept over and over, but you have not understood it. But when you are in a group, you will share, you will brainstorm together, and come up with an understanding, because your mind is different from somebody else. So when you combine efforts together in a group, then you will eventually understand that topic. So the group will assist you, or it will allow you to clarify the difficult concepts, gain different perspective. Remember, your your perspective is different from someone's perspective, so you will gain different perspective. In that way, it will be easy for you to remember the concept. And it is important to keep your group small, and it should be focused. You should not have a big group, just a small group, and also it should be focused. That when you have decided to cover on this particular subtopic, then you will make sure that you will cover that within the time that you have decided to do that. So by working together, as I have said and as I summarize, it will tackle the challenging subject more efficiently, and it is going to build supportive learning community among yourselves. That is, you support your friend and your friend is supporting you. Diagrams and mnemonics. So these flow charts or these diagrams will help you to understand well. Look at something like the board mass. The word board mass in mathematics. It makes you to understand the process in multiplying or in solving a particular mathematical problem. That in when I remember the term board mass, then it is helping me to start with the bracket, then off. That is something which is going to help you remember very easily. Try to build those flow charts, the road map in your mind, the mind maps. That is which is very important. It is having a good sleep. Make sure that you sleep, because most of the time you don't read and you don't sleep. You don't sleep. You don't stay in class, but when you go to the dormitory, what do? You're just making some fun, stories. You find yourself that you go to bed at midnight. You are just there doing nothing. So it is very important for you to have a good sleep in order for you to be fresh for the next day. Don't just waste your time, which you are supposed to be asleep. Let us look at the other one. The other one is managing your stress positively. You cannot tell me that you don't have stress, isn't it? At one point, you may have stress, isn't it? Maybe when you are coming to school, your mom and your dad were not on correct terms. They were not on good terms. So you are here, and the way you love your mom, and that was the situation that you left it at home. Can you try to make sure that you manage that? How do you manage it? By focusing on what is important to you. Because maybe your dad or your mom, they are already aged. Their life is over. But now this is an opportunity for you to make your life. Now, it is upon you to choose to spoil your life for someone who has already finished or accomplished his life goals, or decide to focus on what you are supposed to do. So sometimes if the stress is more that you cannot handle, can you talk to a mentor? Find somebody whom you trust. Talk to him or her. And Review and reflect. Review and reflect your work weekly and daily. I have already talked about this. Make sure that you review your work. What you have learned, are you able to remember? You can ask yourself questions and see if you can answer them, or use the question and answer. I have done this topic. Can I find some questions? Try to gauge yourself. Are you able to answer the questions? You will find that you have some weaknesses. You will go back and correct your weaknesses. And also, that review is going to help you to adjust your study plan. That is allocating more times on the subjects which they seem to be hard to you, or adjust the time according to the conclusion of this. What is the conclusion? As we have said, make a wise subject choice, because your decision today shapes your career future. Then consult widely and stay informed. Make sure that you work towards your goal. Don't just be seated. Work towards. Stay focused and believe in yourself. Stay focused and believe yourself. So as we are wrapping up, let us focus on the power of perseverance and self-belief. Have belief in yourself that you can achieve what you want to achieve. Because sometimes you guys fail or fail to grasp a particular concept just because you don't believe that you are able to do it. But believing is the first step of success. Believe that you are able. Remember, success is not just something which comes overnight, as I have said. It is made up of small, consistent efforts, repeated over times. So the small efforts you are putting them today in class, the dedications you have today, they are the ones which are going to build your success as you move along. So the sum of the success of small efforts repeated day in, day out. So that is the success. Success is just the sum of all the small efforts you have been doing each and every day. So as I conclude, I say that let's stay committed, let's stay focused, and believe in your potential in every single day. That is, you will succeed in your life. Thank you very much. That is what I wanted to